Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Today, James and I from the Flovis team are back again to show you our recently launched Flovis jobs board. To quickly recap on what Flovis is doing before we get straight into it, Flovis is an independent central hub for the Flow blockchain ecosystem, and we're built by the Flow community for the Flow community, and it aims to be a place where anyone can go to discover Flow applications, projects, upcoming NFT drops, investors, rankings, news, and much more. To date, we've helped around 30 companies building on Flow blockchain launch their NFTs and applications via a whole host of channels, including Discord AMAs, FlowFest, Twitter, our newsletter, and website. However, we've always wanted to expand this to help companies fill jobs because ultimately excellent hires are crucial to building out fantastic products and ecosystems.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for that recap, Nish. And to get straight into the jobs board now. So we recently launched the jobs board, which lists the best new jobs at leading startups and companies building within the Flow blockchain ecosystem. So far, we have 141 jobs listed from 23 different companies. And more importantly, 600 people have already applied to join a Flow blockchain startup since our launch just within the last couple of months. We've also had 200 job applications in January so far, with 10 days to go of the month. So before we do a bit of a demo and dive into some of the features of the jobs board, I would just like to say that if you're a company currently hiring on Flow, you can always use the discount code jobs on Flow, all in capital letters, on checkout to get 5 free 3-month listings. And that's valid for the rest of this quarter. Or if you'd prefer, feel free to please reach out to either myself or Nish via Discord or Twitter DMs, and we'll be able to help you post your listings for free if you just send a link to your current jobs portal. So here's a quick demo of the jobs board, which has a few main pages. So first, if you go to the address jobs.flowverse.co, immediately you'll see a list of jobs on this page. Featured job listings are listed at the top and highlighted with color. So this is a feature that we have on top of just the free listings. You can also pay a bit of extra money, which we'll talk about a bit later, and you'll be able to get your job listed at the very top of the jobs board in yellow. On the left, you'll be able to filter job listings by keywords, so kind of like what company, what job role, title, location. So there's a sort of a lot of, you can see here that there's a lot of jobs in Canada, US, Europe, particularly at the moment, and even into Asia with India, Japan, South Korea. So you can filter by location. You can sort if remote is okay or not. So that means that the role is also hiring for remote jobs. By category, so you can see engineering, marketing, and all the other categories that we have. Job tags, as well as job type. If you scroll down, you can also enter your email here. So if you're interested in getting hired to work at a Flow blockchain startup, you can enter your email here and you'll receive the latest Flow blockchain jobs in your inbox at whatever frequency you desire. And you can set filters to be like, if you just want alerts of jobs, say in LA for marketing, you can then subscribe. If you're a job seeker and you want to apply for a job, you can also sign up and create an account by clicking the people icon at the top. And if you're an employer looking to hire and post job listings, you can create an account by clicking the bag icon or simply going straight into the posted job button. Nish, I'll let you talk to the posted job page.
Yeah, thanks for that, James. That was really good. So in this posted jobs page, you can post a job. Essentially, regular job listings are free to post. You can use the code jobs on Flow, all capitals, on checkout, and it lasts up to 3 months, whilst the featured job listing will cost $199 per listing and will also last 3 months. So James, if you could navigate to the company page now. So as already you can see, there's 23 companies listed and a wide variety of roles that companies are hiring for, including software engineering, marketing, design, finance roles, and much more. The question that I get a lot actually from people and the community is whether they'll be able to apply for a blockchain Web3 or Web3 related job, as they don't know how to code. But if you look at our jobs board, you can see that there's a lot of opportunities and job listings that don't require coding knowledge. So I definitely encourage anyone who does not have coding experience to take a look at our jobs board and apply if you're interested in Web3 and blockchain. Also, there seems to be a high proportion of remote jobs listed, so you can literally be anywhere in the world and apply. This people who love that flexibility in their work, and who doesn't, right? We also have a channel on our Discord that is dedicated towards chatting about jobs and opportunities in the Flow ecosystem. So definitely check that out if you're interested in hiring or looking for opportunities, and we can help you out there as well.
All right, that's it for today's demo. Thank you for talking through that, Nish. It's very good. If you have any questions for anyone listening, don't hesitate to reach out to either Nish or myself via Discord or just the Flowverse Twitter account via DM, and we'll look to get back to you as soon as we can. We're looking forward to helping all the great startups on Flow hire the very best candidates to continue to build the fantastic ecosystem we're a part of, and likewise with job candidates applying to work at all the fantastic companies building on Flow. Thanks a lot for listening in today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later. Bye.
Ooh. How's everyone doing?
GM.
Hello.
GM.
Morning.
Wait, someone's audio is feeding back.
That's me. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I was like, wow, someone sounds exactly like me. Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's Office Hours. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea. I recently joined the Flow team end of last year as developer advocate, and I'll be your host today. If this is your first time joining Office Hours, essentially it's just a time where we get together, you can meet the team, ask questions. We also have some guest speakers today who will show some cool projects they've built on Flow, and yeah, just have a cool discussion. So in the Office Hours text chat, Carol has actually shared a link to a Slido. So throughout the course of this Office Hours, if you do get questions, if you do think of something that you'd like to say and don't want to say it out loud, feel free to submit it via the Slido, and you can also upvote other questions. That way we can kind of source a question bank. Because I know it's a little daunting when you're in a big chat room and you may not want to, unmute and talk. So with that being said, let's cover what we're going to be talking about today. So Carol, the first thing is first, actually. One thing worth mentioning is that this is our first week using FigJam, as you can see. We'll be sharing the link to this FigJam later, but we're experimenting with this format to make it a little bit more interactive. And as we get more comfortable with it, we'll also make it completely interactive in coming Office Hours. We're just like trickling it in right now. So for now, it's just, sharing the screen, but in the second part of these Office Hours, we'll also share the links so that you can jump in and take a look. So what do we have for you today? We have a pretty packed agenda. We have two guest speakers. We have Amit from Zaycodes, who's going to demo Schmoes Schwap. And we have Luca from Flovatar, and he is going to talk about how to safeguard your NFT drops. He wrote a really cool Medium article, and he's going to talk through it. Then we're going to go through some community highlights, announcing some new community reps, talking about fruity Gattos. If you have been following the general chat in the last couple of days, you'll know what we are talking about. Hint, hint, check my profile picture. And a couple more community topics. And as usual, we're going to have breakout rooms. As you can see, we have a couple extra voice channels underneath the Office Hours one, where we can break out and talk about cadence-specific questions and SDK and FCL-specific questions. So after the demos, we're going to break out. And for those of you who want to stick around in the main channel, we're going to go through communities and just talk about general questions. Cool. So with that done, it would be good for you to know who you're talking to. So Carol and Trey and Kim and I have prepared a little overview of who's in the office hours today from the team. And it would be cool if everyone in turn introduced themselves. Maybe we go from left to right and then line by line. So Carol, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'm Carol, also known as Ask Alice in the chat. I'm brand new. I've only been here for a month, but I'm your community manager, and I'm here to make the office hours and the Discord at whole better. So if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. Message me anytime. Kim?
Hey, that's Kim. Kim, after you.
Hi, my name is Kim. I am a developer advocate here at Flow, and I help make onboarding as smooth and seamless for developers.
We can skip me. Bruno?
Hi, I'm Bruno. I'm a developer advocate for Flow, and you can find me here making educational content.
Trey?
Hey everyone, I am Trey. I am also a community manager. I, like Carol, just joined about a month ago, and I will be assisting her in, all things community. So, yeah, like Carol said, don't hesitate to hit me up.
Yeah, I'll go next. Hey everyone, I'm David O. I'm the product marketing manager for Flow. I have some cool announcements for all of you here today. If you'd like to participate in developer survey, it's pretty harmless. It's only 40 questions, but I'm raffling this is a small group of you. I'm raffling off a $100 gift certificate to Amazon. If you want to participate, DM me. It'll only take you like 10 minutes to fill out the survey. And because there's only a few of you here, I'll be raffling off a gift certificate. And you probably have really good high odds of winning this $100 gift certificate for Amazon. So looking forward to your DMs. Thanks.
Thanks, David. Is Josh, are you on the call? No? Bastian? Okay, Greg?
Hello all. I'm Greg. As it says, FCL engineer, working on the DevX team, on the Flow client library, the JavaScript SDK, Dev Wallet, all things to help you get started and build things on Flow. So welcome. Talk soon.
Thanks, Greg.
Hi.
Yannis?
Hi, Yannis here. FVM engineer. I also help on the SDKs, like it says on the slides. And if you have any questions regarding any fees, storage fees, transaction fees, I can also help with that.
Hello, I'm Albert. I help folks build on Flow as a solutions engineer. Thanks for joining us.
Cool. Hey, I'm Mac here. I'm a developer experience engineer. Welcome.
Do we have Max? Side Ninja? Hey.
Hey, Gregor here. I'm part of the developer experience team, working mostly on the Go tooling, CLI, lately on HTTP API, the new HTTP API. So feel free to ask me anything.
Hey everyone, I'm Sprinjoy. I'm a product manager for the DevX team. So I help build a lot of the tooling and docs you see and also work with a lot of the engineers here. So glad to have you all here. Feel free to message me if you have any questions.
Hello, everybody. I'm James. I work on FCL on the SDK.
And I don't think Pete's here. Is Chase here? Okay. Cool. And as I said, we'll be sharing the link to this figure board. So if you want to, catch up, or if you missed someone, you can reference the FigJam board to find out who the best person to reach out to on Discord is. And the people who introduce themselves will be here throughout the office hours and in the breakout rooms after we break out. Awesome. So without further ado, let's get started with demos. Amit, do you want to kick it off with Schmoes Schwap?
Yeah, sure. Should I just share my screen? Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, great. Can I get a quick confirmation that everything looks all right?
You're all good.
All right, cool. Thank you. So first off, I'll introduce myself. I'm Amit. I work with Zaycodes. We've been building flow apps for the last 7 or 8 months now. Primarily, we've been doing it for other people, but we decided to branch out and start making some apps for the community as a whole as well. And everything that we're doing, we're putting under what we're calling the Schmoes ecosystem. And Schmo itself is a PFP, sort of gives you premium access to everything we're making as a product, that is. And this is the first one that we released. It's called Schwap. It stands for Schmoes Swap, as you can see in the URL bar there. And what it allows you to do is trade NFTs and tokens peer-to-peer between different people, all within the Flow ecosystem and fully decentralized. And I'm going to quickly run through how that works. So this is the homepage. You can start out by clicking Create a Trade. And right here, right away, you can see there's 3 main steps highlighted by the step numbers. So we'll follow them in order. So the first thing that you have to do is offer anything that you would like to send, which I can click Add Assets, which will prompt me to log into my account. Go ahead and do that. Then once you're logged in, you'll see it lists a bunch of different NFT collections that exist on Flow today. Hopefully some of these are recognizable to you. And also fungible tokens such as the Flow token or FUSD. So I'll go ahead and I'm just going to showcase that we can send a lot of different NFTs and fungible tokens at the same time. So I'll send all of these Starly NFTs from this new After Future drop that just came out yesterday or 2 days ago, by the way. You should check it out if you haven't on Starly. And I'll also send 50 Flow. You can click Add to Board, and you'll see every NFT that I chose here shows up on the board, and these are pretty much staged to be sent to someone else. Now, that completes step 1. And then step 2 is choose what you want in return for this trade. So we integrated with .find, so you can easily find other people's addresses. So for example, I can type like Roham, and it would be selecting Roham's NFTs. And you can see he has a big collection of Versus NFTs. But I'm going to show one that I can actually approve. I'm sending it to myself, which is another account I have. And I'll request in return a baller and also a jam moment and add that to the board. So essentially I'm saying I want to offer all of these NFTs and 50 Flow. In return, I'd like to receive a baller and a jam NFT. Then last step is you can click Create Offer. Here you have to acknowledge the trade as a whole. Make sure that the trade summary matches what you expect, 5 NFTs and a fungible token for 2 NFTs. Set an expiration and agree to the terms that we have set here. Then you can click Create. Then your classic Flow transaction pops up. If you want, you can read this. We put a lot of work into those, so feel free to take a look at it. And you'll also see the Flow transaction is posted up here. You can click that. I'll visit that after it finishes. And this should take 1 second. There we go. Okay, great. So now the trade is in a pending state, as mentioned here. And it says that Amit, the opposing account, needs to come in and accept it. So we can click View Trade Offer, and you'll see now it says pending, and it has all of these different, I guess the staged trade is up there. Let's take a quick look at the transaction that it created. The way this works is very similar to the standard NFT storefront contract that Flow vends out publicly. And the major difference is instead of like a list for sale event that comes out of it, there's now a trade offer available event. And inside this event, you'll get some data which shows what types were offered, how much amount. Like you can see, it was 50 Flow, and also the NFTs as well. And it shows both this is the ID of one of the Starly NFTs I offered, and you'll see that it's a Starly type here, Starly card. So this allows for, let's say, a Discord bot or Twitter bot to come in and read the events on chain and see if any trades have happened that might be relevant to some NFT project. We haven't had anyone make a bot like that yet, but I'd love to see someone experiment with that. All right, now let's quickly accept this trade. So I have another browser open, which is connected to the account that was requested. The way you can accept a trade, since we don't want people sending links around because that can lead to phishing attacks down the road, we'd prefer if someone came directly to our website and then clicked on View Incoming Trades. And that takes you to your inbox. And you'll see it says Viewing Trade Offer sent to this address. After a second of loading, you'll see that the trade comes up that was just sent with the 5 NFTs and 1 fungible token and 2 NFTs. We're using Graphle to power this page. Yeah, so let's go ahead and try and accept that. So as the approver, you'll see an Approve Trade button pops up here. And also you can see all of the NFTs here. This looks good to me, so I'll go ahead and click Approve. You get the same confirmations as the previous one, telling you when it expires and what the summary of the trade is. Go ahead and approve that. And again, this is doing the same thing as the last one, and it takes a few seconds. And again, we have another transaction created, and this will also have an event which says trade completed and gives you all of the info so you can create dashboards or create Discord bots, whatever you need around it. And you can see this one has a lot more events because it actually executed the trade. And now the trade has been executed. What would you like to do? So as a result, that means now my new account should have all of these Starly items. So let's go ahead and check that. And you can see my Starly items are here now and the ballers are not. And also I have 50 more Flow than before. Yeah, this was all in mainnet. It's available right now. We're adding more and more collections every day. We plan to add some big ones this weekend, actually. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, actually, sorry, gonna plug one thing. So I mentioned earlier that we have a Schmoes NFT, which is sort of your membership to our products. You can check that out at schmoes.io. Also, the previous website was schwap.io. And at schmoes.io, you can play around, figure out how to use this website. And it's sort of our entrance to our PFP, which you can check out our Discord as well and ask some questions there if you have any.
Awesome. Thanks, Amit.
Wow.
I'm already seeing
Super
some,
cool.
yeah, really, really cool. I'm already seeing some Easter eggs on the schmoes.io website, by the way.
Yeah, there's a few.
Just so that people know, we will be leaving this general breakout room for questions related to the demos. But does anyone want to does anyone have any comment or question right off the bat that we want to cover really quickly, and then we can move on to the next demo? Otherwise, you can keep it for, you can add it to the Slido and we can cover it after we break out. Because I know I have a bunch of questions, so I'll be keeping them for later. So Amit, please stick around.
Yep, I'll be around. No worries.
I have one quick question. Super cool stuff. But you said to add collections. Is this like a PR on GitHub, or is like if we want to add like NFT, can the community contribute there? Or?
Not quite yet. It's currently it's a private repo for where we add it. We haven't split out the collection adding from our actual other stuff. But we did simplify the collection adding on our side, and it is something we want to open source where it's just a config file. You don't need to write any cadence code actually. So one day I plan to open source that so everyone can start using it.
We might actually be able to help with that as well, Amit. We should chat about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, now I really just want to try it out. Thanks for the demo, Amit. Looking forward to discussing it later. Luca, do you want to take it away with safeguarding NFT drops?
Hello, yeah, sure.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. And let me share my screen as well so I can show you a little bit around. Can you see?
Yep.
Can everyone see? Oh, okay, good. Yep. So yeah, just to give a quick recap about Flovatar, where we are for those that don't know us, we are trying to redefine ourselves. We started as a PFP project, but I think our long-term plans are much more than just a simple PFP. So we think ourselves as a platform for people to express their creativity, to create avatars, but so much more. So the idea is that you are able to generate your Flovatar with the builder that allows you to select among many different traits, some a bit more special than others, animated, and all kinds of things. Everything is saved on SVG on chain. So you can choose really a lot of combinations, and we really like the creativity that people express so far. The marketplace is super active. There are a lot of things happening, lots of sales that have been done, and really happy to the direction we are going. And actually, we started recently to explore a bit more the 3D world. So I asked a few people on Upwork, but also contacts, to start playing with 3D. And of course, some didn't came that well. This is the worst one. But then we started improving slowly and improving a bit more. And then finally, I think we reached a good point now where we can plan a building Flovatars in 3D as well. So really looking forward to that. And I started actually 3D printing one just yesterday night, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah. And the last thing we are trying to look into is also physical objects. So this is another friend of a friend of mine that works in jewelry, and he started playing around with these are the boosters made with jewels, and the idea would be that we could help him build a shop where you can pay in Flow and send your Flovatar if you want to customize it completely in any way you want, and then you would receive your blinks at home by paying in Flow. And also T-shirts, caps, stickers, and all kinds of things would be really cool, I think. So yeah, we are exploring many different areas and looking forward to see what's coming on. And to go back a little bit to the original argument that you made about securing the drop and how we handle things. So we have a Medium account where we recently actually wrote an article about the future plans of this year and how we're going to introduce the Dust token, the DAO, and all these kind of things. So if you're interested, take a look. And the very first article that we wrote in Medium was exactly about. Sorry? No. Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. So the very first article we wrote in Medium was about how I prepared the drop sale, because I wanted to sell the packs on chain without having to send all the packs myself from my servers, like NBA Top Shot does, for example, and make the transaction off chain with credit cards. So to keep it more pure and all on crypto, I wanted to do that, but at the same time, I didn't want to expose the pack sale to bots and to allow people to take advantage of the sale by getting more packs or doing things that normal user wouldn't be able to do. So in order to achieve that, I needed a way to control who could call the function on my smart contract to purchase the pack. So the smart contract is open, the function is open for anyone to be called, but I made it in a way so that the function will only execute if you pass a secret key for the specific package. Each package has its own code that originally only I know. And if you want to buy a specific package, you have to know the key to that package to be able to buy it. In this way, you keep everything on chain, but you also retain control of who is allowed to buy what and when. And at the same time, keeping the weight on the server and the load on those really low, because it's just one simple query to the database and you can deliver a pack to anyone. So how I implemented it using signed messages. It's a really nice feature that I recommend everyone to dig more into it. And you can use it in two ways. The first way that it's a more classic usage is by using it for logging in a user into a backend. So in this case, I had to, like in a normal website, you would do username and password. Obviously, we don't have that. But logging in, connecting your wallet with the Blockto wallet, it just logs you in on the front end. The server doesn't really know that it's actually you having control over that address. There is no simple way to do that with just the connector wallet. So what you have to do is the backend server generates a random string that associates to that address that you are saying you control. You send that message to the user and you ask the user, please sign the message, this random string for me. And if you do it properly, I can then assess that you are in control of that address, you are the owner, and I can trust you. I can trust this session, so I can log you in as a registered user with your address. So this is the very first important step, so that you create a secure communication between the front end and the back end. And this is pretty simple. There is a standard function on FCL that you can call, and it's super easy to do. And there is this, you just make an HTTP request, and with this cadence script, you can simply verify that the user is correctly the owner of the address or not. Once you do that, the other thing you have to do is to protect the purchase function in your smart contract to be able to be used just with a secret code, the signature that you generate also for the login. but in the other way around. So we are going, as a smart contract owner, I'm going to sign every single random string that I gave to each pack. So we have 100 packs. Each one will have a different random string, and I sign each random string for each package. I save this in my database, and it's something that you execute just on your machine. It's not something you run on the blockchain. It's just an algorithm that cryptographically sign the string. So at this point, I have 100 packages. I can put them on the blockchain, but if you try to buy them without that secret code that it's generated, the function will simply fail because it doesn't allow you to buy. So if it doesn't equal the message that yeah, here we have it. If it doesn't equal the message that it's stored in the signed version, then it will just fail. Otherwise, you will be able to buy the pack. So the full steps that I did is first log in with the signed message, so you communicate securely with the backend. Second thing, we created a Queue-it system, so it's a third-party tool that it's the same that NBA Top Shot is using. So you create a queuing system where people wait in the queue before the drop time. Then at the time of the drop, they randomize the order to all the participants, and then you can control how many people you can let through the queue, so you avoid also having spikes and overloading the network. And you can just let through like 70, 80, 100 per minute. And every time a user asks for buying a pack, you can check his credentials. You can control it however you want. And if you want him to give you the opportunity to buy the pack, you return this secret key for a specific pack, and he can use that on the purchase function. And it will be a normal transaction in Blockto that you just approve, and you will be able to buy the pack securely, fully on chain, and in a pretty controlled way. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the the story behind the Flovatar. I don't know if you have any questions, just let me know.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna open up for questions real soon. So just in the interest of whoever has cadence and SDK questions, and they're waiting for the breakout rooms, what we'll do is, let me open up Ask Alice's stream. Is we'll break out now. So where is the run of show? Yeah. So we have two other voice chats. We have the Cadence and SDK/FCL one. So if you have questions related to Cadence and SDK/FCL that you are dying to ask the team, please join those breakout rooms so that the team can jump in and answer your questions. For those of you who have questions related to Luca or Amit's demos, as well as general questions, feel free to stick around. And after those questions, we're going to also cover some community highlights and some other stuff. So yeah, just feel free to drop off to the breakout rooms, and people from the team will join in and answer your questions. Awesome. All right. So Luca, I know that probably the protocol guys will kill me for saying this, but the way that you implemented the signing is kind of like a Spock, right? It's kind of like a secret proof of confidential knowledge. Where you sign a secret string, and therefore, if you sign it, the server can verify it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty genius.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's nice to use it in two ways, both from the user to the server, and also from the smart contract to the user.
Yeah. Awesome. So I have some backup questions on Slido because in the background, but I want to leave space for anyone who wants to voice in and unmute and ask a question to do so freely. So I'll give anyone a couple seconds to jump in and ask questions. Otherwise, I'll start reading them off from the Slido. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go in order in how they were submitted. Anonymous is asking any update on USDC support. It was announced for Q4 2021 and a link to the blog post. Yeah, so the answer is soon. If you check GitHub, there is already a this has been asked on Discord yesterday, I believe, as well, and Josh provided a link to the GitHub repo. So if you search on our Discord USDC, you will find. And yeah, can't comment on exactly when. I think the Circle team is still working through it, but soon. Cool. Then another question is Love Schwap. Can someone mute? I'm hearing myself. Love Schwap, how do you handle compatibility with different, e.g. if you want to add another product? I know we sort of covered this towards the end of your presentation, Amit, but do you want to maybe go into a little bit more detail as to, in the future, how you would support different NFT projects?
Hey, yeah, sure. So right now the metadata standard on Flow isn't fully defined, but once that's fully defined, this does get a lot easier. And also when storage searching APIs come up as well. So for now, we have a config file that we fill in pretty manually, and we talk to different projects about how they would like to be displayed on the site. And we're adding primarily the more popular projects over time. Like some that you can most likely see coming soon are Flovatar, Luca's amazing project there. And also we'll be adding NBA Top Shot very soon as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to that, and especially for the flow bits, for the exchange part. I love the idea.
Agreed. I think it'll be great for flow bits. Yeah, so it's a gradual thing for now. In the future, when standards are a little bit more defined, I think we'll be able to mass on board all NFTs, really.
Cool. And the most upvoted question is also for Amit. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the contract? I also remember in your demo, you kind of mentioned that when you opened the Blockto transaction, we're like, actually, there's a lot going on here. So maybe a bunch of us are curious to look under the hood and just a high-level overview of what's going on in the contract.
Sure. I can speak a lot about that because I primarily worked on that. It's also linked at the bottom of the Schwap website. There's a link to see the smart contract. But the contract, it started from NFT Storefront, and it works very similarly in that a resource is given to a creating account to start a trade and to hold an open trade offer. And then after that trade offer is available, someone else can come in and accept it. But we added a lot of interesting features to it, to like the base storefront. One of them is an expiration time. Another one is that you can request a single account to be allowed to actually accept the trade. And also you can obviously add many NFTs and fungible tokens on both sides of the transaction. So those are the main changes that were made. A lot of them, like they sound kind of simple. They ended up being a bit more complicated in implementation than you would think. So you can check out the contract for yourself to see those.
I definitely will. And I'm sure the person who asked the question also will. Cool. Thanks for the walkthrough.
No problem.
Luca, one question here is what plan?
Sorry, we missed that. I think you cut out.
Oh, sorry.
We lost, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry. This one is for Luca. What plans do you have for your DAO?
Yeah, we have big plans, and by the way, thanks a lot for the Emerald DAO project that is helping us already with the verification of our Flovatar owner in our Discord bot. So that's one little step in the right direction. Ideally, we want to have probably our own smart contract defined and fully operative, but that's more like a long-term plan. And I think it's going to be a very gradual process that we want to approach step by step and slowly moving it from Discord into the smart contract. That's the idea. But to start with, yeah, we'll definitely use the Discord a lot, and we want the community to be involved as much as possible to take the decisions also about how to use the treasury and what projects should be back more and all these kind of things. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Cool. And a more technical question is, how does the server, does it use the public key for the account? I think this is related to your blog post.
Yeah, I missed the first part.
Oh,
of the
sorry.
crazy workup.
So sorry. The other question is a bit more technical, and it's how does the user is the correct one? Does it use the public key for the account?
Yeah, you cut out just the right words. Sorry, can you repeat the last time?
I'm sorry that I keep cutting out. The third to last question.
Yeah.
How does the server verify that the user is the correct one? Does it use the public key for the account?
Yes. So yeah, it's all in the article, and actually you use the public key from the address, and then with that public key you can compare the generated signature with you provide that in the function that the Cadence gives you, and it will return a true or false if it's correct. So yes,
cool.
Just with the public key.
Awesome. And while you're here, Luca, for someone new developing on Flow, can you explain your path to create a DAO?
I'm gonna be learning that along the way for sure. I'll be collaborating a lot with the Emerald team because I think they are doing a great job in that area, and I think the best thing about Flow is being able to collaborate with really great projects like Find as well for the names that we integrated in the project. So we will try to learn a lot from them, but at the same time have our own path and try to make our own customizations and decisions in these kind of terms. But we're all pioneers, so we'll all learn along the way. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Luca. I'm going to pause a second in case anyone has a question that's not on Slido. Okay. Then one question here is, when will FCL support Dapper wallet integration? I think the answer here is soon. So yeah, I think the Dapper wallet team is still finishing up the wallet, and then FCL support will come. Here, the next question is, love to hear more about FCL usage. So I can maybe take a stab at this, and if anyone wants to jump in, if anyone's a big fan of FCL and wants to jump in, feel free. But when I got started with Flow, FCL was kind of a godsend because with one line, you can essentially authenticate any user on the blockchain without having to worry about what wallet they have, right? Which is different in the Ethereum world because you kind of have to cater to different wallets. Sure, there's MetaMask, which is the most popular, but you kind of have to, have different cases and have different dependencies based on that. Whereas with FCL, it abstracts away the wallet discovery. So as a developer, you use FCL and FCL takes care of making sure that the wallet that the user uses is compatible with all of the FCL functions. So you just do FCL.authenticate, and the user will be presented with a pop-up where they can choose what wallet they want to use, and then they can continue to use your site with their own wallet. And as a developer, so I found that pretty magical. I don't know if anyone, maybe Luca, Amit, or anyone else who's had the pleasure of toying around with it with FCL wants to add anything.
Yeah, for me that was one of the the parts that made me decide to use Flow, because being able to access the blockchain without needing a browser extension, it's definitely a key part to make it really open for millions of people, and not just crypto enthusiasts. And yeah, I think it's a really key part of the Flow ecosystem. And I really love Blockto, but it would be really nice if we would have a bit more options in the wallets. So hopefully 2022 will bring a couple more.
Yeah, I can probably talk a bit on that aspect. Sorry, I just hopped back in from the FCL breakout room.
Welcome back.
So those that don't know me, I'm the one that's in Dapper is responsible for FCL. I was the one that was tasked to figure out how to make wallets work without browser extensions, and there's a whole laundry list of things that we wanted. So we don't necessarily look at FCL as like a JavaScript library. We look at it more as like a platform, and one of our goals there is like these wallets and the way that they work should hopefully eventually work cross-platform. So that means in iOS, Android, Unity, Unreal, we're trying to work in that direction. So the way that Blockto currently works, we're very lucky to have Blockto in the ecosystem. I'll say that every time I bring them up, but the way that Blockto works is I've seen Blockto working in iOS, Android, and Unity without any changes to how Blockto works. So that idea of like you are bringing your stuff with you from application to application was really big there. I did see in the questions about Dapper Wallet being FCL, like when will FCL support Dapper Wallet? It's not actually a matter of FCL supporting Dapper Wallet. It's a matter of Dapper Wallet supporting FCL, which they've been actively working on for a while. Dapper Wallet's a very cautious team. They're very careful, very litigious, and they put in a lot of effort into everything they do to make sure that it's really, really good, and we work very closely with them. You'll actually, the new NFL stuff is actually Dapper Wallet on FCL, so we do have it working, and it is doing its thing. Genies is also Dapper Wallet on FCL, and everything that Dapper itself is doing from this point forward will be, since TopShot actually, TopShot isn't Dapper Wallet on FCL, maybe in the future, but everything moving forward Dapper is doing will be Dapper Wallet on FCL. So it's there. We classify wallets in sort of two main categories, and one of those categories is broken down into three smaller subcategories. The two main categories are bespoke and utility. Utility is anything that works with FCL, and bespoke is like a one-off kind of situation. So like your exchanges like Kraken are all running their own technically they're all their own custodial wallets and behind the scenes for a Kraken account, which makes sense because you wouldn't want, like, it doesn't make sense for Kraken to be signing transactions on Versus as an example. So bespoke things, technically the TopShot Dapper Wallet integration, it would technically be bespoke in our definition there. On the utility side, we break that down into three categories. One is open utility, one is limited utility, and one is restricted utility. Blockdo is a really good example of an open utility. You can sign anything you want, and we're actively working with wallet people to have more and more open utility ones, including some non-custodial ones, even some browser extension ones that should be pretty interesting. There's then limited is there's a core set of transactions that for participating in the network. That's things like sending flow tokens, staking and delegating, those stuff that's like helping the chain of interacting directly with the chain, creating accounts, adding keys to accounts, stuff like that. And so all open utility wallets are technically can act as a limited wallet. Not all limited wallets can act as an open utility wallet. Ledger is a really good example of that. Currently, Ledger can only do those core contracts, and that's a limitation of what Ledger's dictates on how the Ledger needs to work, and we're actively working on trying to turn Ledger into an open utility wallet versus it being in its limited form. And then the third subcategory of like the open wallets is or the utility wallets is restricted. And so up until like this point, all these wallets, there's no trust. It's all completely trustless. And but there's additional benefits that you can get, additional like better user experiences and additional qualities you can get if there is a level of trust between an application and a wallet. And the Dapper wallet, FCL's version, is a really good example of that. So for them to be able to give users that credit card experience and stuff like that, they have to do a bunch of due diligence with every application that they support. And so they're working on ways of onboarding applications and things like that. So, but it's just something that should be noted. So even they're actively working on making that smoother. They're doing kind of like test cases and like testing things out with people that they're working closely with bigger dev teams to make sure that things are working as expected, like the Genies team and the NFL team. And but with the goal to open it up in the future to anybody who wants to create that additional layer of trust between the application and them. But where they're not quite there yet. They're not quite ready to open that up for everybody. FCL supporting mobile. So FCL, if you go to like Versus or anything like that right now, if you went into Versus on Safari Mobile, you can sign in using your Blockdo account as it is. There is also a Swift FCL version out there made by a team in Australia, Outblock.io, I think. It's made by them. And so they have it basically working in Swift for iOS. So yeah, FCL, the goal has always been that this stuff will work in mobile, iOS, Android. The goal is for it to also work in Unity and Unreal. That being said, the app stores are walled gardens, and they generally dislike this sort of stuff. So do at your own risk. Is there any self-custodial wallets that can try to integrate even some initial try? It comes to my mind that maybe Amit and Zaycodes have worked on Flip. Yeah. So the Zaycode, the Amit and them have done a bit of work on a non-custodial wallet from FlipFest. They actually discovered some interesting blockers. That is, so they went with a browser extension solution, and we found some limitations in the way that we built FCL that made it so the wallet itself couldn't use the browser extension itself couldn't use FCL to like talk to the chain, which is not good. So we're in the process of completely pulling out the way that we talk to the Access node and replacing that with more like web standardy stuff instead of like gRPC. So it'll just be standard HTTP requests in the future. We should expect that in the next month to 2 months, I would say, roughly, like before that starts showing up. So as far as we know, that's the last major blocker for like these browser extension kind of non-custodial wallets, or like self-sovereign wallets. Is there any other FCL questions in there, Andrea?
There's one. What's the main difference between FCL and Stripe?
Yeah, so I mean, Stripe's a great product. It's good for you getting payments and like fiat and stuff like that. And I would say that FCL is not about payments. While it can deal with payments, it's not really about that. FCL is more about adding kind of like a federated layer on top of the chain. So if your application, there's certain things that your application needs, like authentication and yeah. So I would probably liken FCL probably more towards like Firebase than I would Stripe, if in terms of like qualities and what it does. But the goals aren't the same either. It kind of comes down to like access control list to like OCAP, right? So like blockchain stuff is generally really like OCAP permission, object capability and permission, I think. I don't remember what OCAP exactly stands for, but it's like the difference between somebody at a door with like a list of who can enter and not versus you having a key that like a physical key that allows you to unlock a door and walk through. So the stuff on the chain is very naturally wants to be OCAP, and you can't and that's because of like the cryptography and it's the signing of the proofs and stuff like that. So when you're building these applications, there's some fundamental differences between how you would generally make a Web 2 application and a Web 3 application, and that's one of those massive ones. Most Web 2s are ACL and most Web 3s are OCAP, which is one of the reasons that allows them to be distributed. So the FCL is kind of about how do we make that jump from that ACL kind of thinking to OCAP thinking. And so the user signing stuff that Luca showed is kind of on there, where you can use that as an authentication mechanism. So there's a way of doing that user signing as part of the authentication flow. It's called provable auth, and I linked it out in the office hours chat. You can go through the authentication with FCL and then get back this information that you can then send to your backend, verify that information on the backend against the chain, and exchange that for maybe some sort of JWT, and put that in a cookie or something like that allows you to be authenticated with your backend. And that's not a thing that Stripe's gonna do for you, right? Like Stripe wants as little as possible inside of your application, because your application is probably far less secure than theirs. And we don't necessarily have to worry about that because we don't need any trust in our system.
Right.
We
Which is the
assume
beauty
that
of
the client
blockchain
is
as well.
compromised. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But like, there's things that Stripe will like. There's no easier way to get a credit card transaction than Stripe, as far as I'm aware. So, like, you're not going to get that in FCL, because that alone, that taking that credit card requires a level of trust that a trustless system will never have by default. Which is one of the reasons also why Dapper Wallet requires that extra layer of trust on top to work with FCL.
Right. There's, I think, before we move on to community highlights, had tried using, if you can scroll down to the bottom, had tried using structs as means of inputting rich structures into a transaction, had JSON cadence. Okay, now it's back up. Wait, where'd it go?
I know. This comes up all the time. Yeah, this is rough. That's not. There's no nice way of doing that. So if you're using structs, you have to. If you're using structs, you have to do them. They have to be on the chain to start with, and then you have to like reference them in how you build them out. But building them out is also disgustingly not straightforward. We generally, if you look inside of the FCL code, there's the way that we're verifying the user signatures, because the user signatures are actually can be more than one signature as proof because of weight. We're actually taking an array of objects with a mix of qualities like strings, numbers, and stuff like that, like more complicated, complex structures, and passing them in. And the easiest way we found is kind of like fan out into the arguments, so you have arrays of values, and then you like zip them, rebuild the structures back inside of the transaction. It's gross and it's horrible. There is an issue in the Cadence repo that I actually raised. I'll put that in the office hours. If you go give that love and give your examples of why this is needed, it's more likely to be like this. We need to solve this at a Cadence level, not at a we're interacting with the chain level. And so this is a really great question. I'm going to share an issue that's in the Cadence issue. If you can go give that issue your love and be like, this is important, this is annoying, we need something like this. Give examples of what you're trying to do, so they can see it's not just me being loud.
It's not just
that'd
James.
be really helpful.
Yeah. And actually, the person asking the question says, ended up using arrays and dicts with any structs and manually mapping everything, which is kind of messy, but works. So it seems like I'm doing it correctly. So yeah, definitely check out the issue.
I've I've pasted the issue in the office hours chat.
Cool. And last question, James, for you. You mentioned FCL work currently underway, and then we can move on to community highlights.
You cut out there for a second.
The last question. You mentioned FCL for Unity. Is that work currently underway?
So I built out something really disgusting to prove, to see if it would work. So we've proved that we can make what we have work in Unity. What we don't have right now is anybody necessarily working specifically on that. So if you're interested in doing that work, please reach out to me, or Albert. It's probably a good one to reach out to too, and say, hey, we're interested in doing this, and we can probably figure out a way to help you and give you additional resources and access to like people like me who work on FCL full time. It's is David O in here? Still in here? It's a big goal from David O as well, who's more recent. So there's definitely a desire for it, not necessarily currently a capacity to make it right now. But we are totally willing to help anybody to our best ability that is interested in working on something like that. Actually, for most things in general, not just the CMD stuff. If you're, yeah, or
Yeah, exactly. If you want to build on Flow, reach out and we'll do everything we can to help you.
Yeah.
Cool. Carol, do you want to talk a little bit about community highlights?
I do want to talk about community highlights. So we're going to be adding this to the office hours from now on, just to keep some information interesting. By the way, thanks for joining all the breakout rooms. I don't know if there was some trouble joining them, but some people mentioned they did. Next time, you can just DM me. I'll like move you into the right breakout room. But I really like the discussion happening today. We wanted to highlight something created by user Monica. It was spurred by a discussion that we were having internally about calling ourselves the developer advocates a certain name, and we thought it'd be really fun to call it developer advocates. And then Monica, we mentioned at the last office hour, and it spurred an entire Fruity Gattos. So that is awesome. Monica created a bunch of Fruity Gattos. You can go download them. I have it. It'll be available here. So we'll make this Fig Jam available to everyone, by the way. In the future, you can like engage with this content live, so we know what you like and what you don't like. But Trey just dropped the link inside of the office hour text chat. So if you guys want to join and download some of your own Fruity Gattos, I think I see, Andrea, you've already put your own Fruity Gatto.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we also made emojis on our Discord for all 5 of them, because this is the outdated picture, Carol. There's one
Sorry.
more Frutigato.
Where's the? I missed the other Fruity Gatto.
I sent it on Slack.
Okay.
On the Avogado channel.
Let me grab it. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna remove this one. Put the new one here. There we go. Fruity Gattos. Nice. So everyone can grab these. But thanks, Monica, for making these. They're awesome. I think it's inspired us to actually even probably use them as badges in the future.
Yeah. And also maybe as demo pictures, tutorials, projects, samples. I think it would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I know I will.
Maybe we should have like a contest or something about with Fruity Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. On another note, I just wanted to shout out all of our community reps. For those who don't know, we have a special role called community reps, and they do a lot of things for this community. They answer your questions, they clean up the Discord, but we wanted to do a super, super special shout out to them. You probably already seen Blue Slime, Yarteg, Jules, Daniel, and Semenja around, but I also wanted to welcome 2 new community members from this month, Phil and Lagit. I don't know if Phil is here. Do you want to say hello, Phil? Maybe unmute and say hello.
Yeah, no problem. Hey guys, I'm Phil. I'm super honored to be a community rep, so thank you for choosing me. I became a part of the Flow community through the Decentology Bootcamp at the end of last summer. I am still very much learning every day, and so I'll do my best to help where I can in the community.
Awesome. And then Legit, who had to jump off like literally 5 minutes ago, but next week I'll ask him to come on and give an intro. He's also been super helpful. For those who don't know, we just had our first community rep sync recently, where you can join the Flow team and contribute to making this community better. Andrea, do you want to talk about how you can become a community rep?
Yeah, sure. So if you're active on Discord or on our forums and you want to, help out, moderate, just take care of our social channels and be a community rep, just reach out to me, reach out to Carol, and yeah, we'll definitely make it happen.
Yeah, let us know if you would like a breakout room every office hour too. We can talk about community things. I think it'd be really fun to talk together about how we can improve the Discord and do more fun
Absolutely.
activities, like Fruity Cat meme contest or something.
Yeah, or
Um,
also, like channel discussion. I know that there's been talks about channels being either too many or channels that need to be cleaned up, right? Like that sort of discussion, I think, is useful to do with the community as well. So,
yeah, yeah. We want to do it all in the open, and you guys can always join. And yeah, all decisions made together, right?
Yep.
Here's a little bit of quick update for those who have been asking. I see this message a lot. This is Dapper Labs news, so I won't go into it, but you guys can come and take a look and watch the videos. UFC Strike just launched as part of Dapper Labs. It was built on Flow, so if you guys want to go check it out, it's all here. For those who don't know, UFC Strike is a whole new way to connect with the sport and own officially licensed epic video highlight-based NFTs straight out of the Octagon. So this is your chance to own immortalized NFTs of the most sought-after moments in UFC history. The first UFC Strike fully loaded packs is going to drop on Sunday, January 23rd at 11 a.m. PST. And if you want more information about them, just go check out ufcstrike.com or there's Discord UFC. The UFC Strike Trey will link it in the office hours. But yeah, saw a lot of excitement from people. So definitely go check it out. No, it is not a scam.
And for those of you who did not join or we also played a video by Flowverse announcing their new job board. So also definitely check that out. So Flowverse is a website, flowverse.co, and it kind of summarizes everything that's happening on Flow in terms of projects, in terms of drops, more or less everything. So, and they just launched a job board. I think they have 20 companies already posting jobs on the job board. So if you're looking for a job around Flow, definitely check that out. Or if you want to hire someone for Flow, also check that out and post a job. And if you watch that video, but by the way, they give you the Flowverse team tells you what promo code to use so that it's completely free to post a job.
Nice. Awesome. I think that's it for community highlights. We went a little bit longer today, I hope, but everyone stuck around. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So also today's the last day that you can contribute to the survey. We had a survey going on since last week just to ask some questions on how we can run these office hours better. Although we've gotten some great feedback so far. Everyone is super, super responsive. I think it's going to keep going like this. And we're going to keep the Slido going now a week and a half advance so that it can dictate what kind of content and breakout rooms you guys want. But yeah, the survey link is in the office hour chat as well. So please fill it out. Today's the last day to get your feedback in.
Awesome. Cool. Then I think, given that we're already over time, we can close the office hours here. Or is there anything anyone else wanted to talk about, wanted to ask? This is your chance.
It's your moment to shine. By the way,
All right.
we're also going to be putting out a intake form. So many of you have been reaching out because you want to present during these office hours, which we love. Don't feel like you have to present any finish. Just like an update is awesome too. If you want to just show things to the community, so I'll throw a link in the announcement. So if you want to submit something, Kim is the one that's gonna, or you can message Kim as well if you want to submit something to us.
Yep. Looking forward to it. And we're going to continue to experiment with FigJam, with Slido, trying to make these office hours as interactive as possible and making sure that cool. All right, then I wish everyone a glorious weekend. Thanks for stopping by and see you in the next office hours.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Party on, party people.
Bye-bye.